presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are LA.
The weekend series between the Angels and the Houston Astros continues tonight from the Big A. The Angels, of course, a very tough defeat last night. They are currently 1-4 against the Astros, trying to even up the series tonight. It is Game 2 from Angel Stadium. We welcome you inside this beautiful ballpark and into our broadcast booth. We welcome you back to Angels Baseball on Fox Sports West. He's Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. And oh, what could have been for the Angels last night. A miraculous come-from-behind tie for the Angels to tie things up at 6. Unfortunately, didn't go well in the 10th. But overall, we continue to talk about this team and its resiliency, and it showed once again.
Yeah, Victor, two of the best teams as far as coming back in baseball, the Astros and the Angels. But when you look at that 9th inning, you really didn't feel real comfortable, even though they've been very good coming back in games. Dallas Keuchel on the mound in the 9th inning. All of a sudden, better swings, better approaches, using that middle part of the field, loading the bases. Ken Giles was 7 for 7 in save situations. Trout Flair went in and a base hit there by Simmons. All of a sudden, you think that magic is going again. Then Cole Calhoun came off the bench, got the day off until that point, ties it up with that swing, and you feel real good. Extra innings, but Houston, we're talking about how great they are as far as coming back in games. Altuve start off with a hit, steals second base, gets in the scoring position, one of the best young players in the game. Carlos Correa got a backup breaking ball, lines it in the right field, and Houston takes the lead and then holds on to it. It was a fun game to be able to see. All those comebacks by both these teams would have been better if the Angels would be able to hold on to win, though.
Yeah, 13th come from behind victory for the Houston Astros. The Angels second with 11, and hopefully they don't have to worry about that tonight. Just take a lead against Lance McCullers, and let's see if J.C. Ramirez can hang on to it. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Once you sit back, relax, we're going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. brought to you by our local Southern California Land Rover retailers. By Jack in the Box, come try the new guacamole and bacon chicken sandwich only at Jack in the Box. And by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. We welcome you back out to Angel Stadium. Game 2 of a 3-game set between the Halos and the visiting Houston Astros. The Angels in second place behind the Stros, 5.5 back with the loss last night. Houston, they're on a roll. They are 20-10 to start the season. Winning records both at home and on the road, and within the division, they are just absolutely annihilating everybody. They are 16-5.
It's the best stretch after 30 games in the history of the Astros. So they've been doing everything well as far as pitching well, hitting, very deep lineup, and playing solid defense.
They've and I think the come from behind victories obviously helping them quite a bit. It's not a lineup right now that is clicking on all cylinders with everybody hitting 300 and the pitching has been dynamic. They've just got timely hits. It's a good collection of talent right now, and they're taking advantage of a division that's not playing good baseball. I mean, the Angels have been on a roller coaster. Seattle has yet to get it going. Texas has been up and down. Oakland, the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, they have the power, but they also can manufacture runs with speed for A.J. Hinch. And that's why they've been able to come back in a number of those games and win them late. 13 come from behind victories.
We had some sprinkles here earlier today, and should be all right at 63 degrees right now here at the Big A. The sun has peaked out, so it's not a bad night whatsoever. We're waiting for J.C. Ramirez to, at some point tonight, take the mound and get the start against the Houston Astros. J.C. waiting now, I guess, to see if Lance McCullers is coming off the field, coming across the field anyway, from his warm-up pitches. Let's take a look at the Astros and their starting lineup for game number 31 for A.J. Hinch. As McCullers makes his way in with Brian McCann. George Springer will lead things off and play center field. Josh Reddick is in right. Carlos Correa in the 3 spot. He's the shortstop. No HOU Altuve tonight on his birthday to boot. He gets the night off.
That's his birthday present.
That's it. That's exactly right. Carlos Beltran, cleanup hitter at DH. Brian McCann behind the plate. Yuli Gurriel at first base. Marvin Gonzalez will get to start in place of Altuve at second base. Alex Bregman is at third. And Nori Aoki batting 9th and patrolling left field. J.C. Ramirez will be pitching in his 8th game. This will be his 5th start since joining the rotation. 3-2 so far with a 4.23 ERA.
And his fastball has been very good, especially his 2-seam and 4-seam combination. 93 to 98 miles an hour with those 2 fastballs he'll throw. Throw a good slider, throws quite a few of them. A solid curveball, which I think has really helped him out, especially against left-handed batters. An occasional split, although he hasn't thrown many of them this year. His curveball has been his all-speed pitch.
Defensively for the Angels tonight, you've got Cameron Maben in left, Mike Trout in center, Cole Calhoun back in right. The infield, Yunel Escobar and Andrelton Simmons on the left side, Cliff Pennington and Luis Valbuena on the right side. And Martin Maldonado behind the plate. Actually, looks like, folks, we've got a little different look to the lineup. Last minute change. Ben Revere's in left, Cameron Maben's in center, so Mike Trout apparently a late scratch from the lineup as we take a look at Luis Valbuena.
And Luis Valbuena has played 25 or more career starts at all 4 infield positions. And I was asking him today, what's his favorite infield position? He goes, you know, as long as I'm swinging the bat, I'll play anywhere in the infield for Mike Scioscia here and the Angels to help this team win a ball game.
Well, once we get word from the Angels, we'll pass it along. Wonder if it has anything to do with that hamstring that kind of crept up a couple of days ago. He looked fine last night.
He tracked down some pretty good baseballs, yes. And I just happened to look up, and I saw the Cameron Maben moved over into center field, and then Ben Revere into left field.
First one tonight from J.C. Ramirez is down and away.
As you'll notice, as always, for J.C. Ramirez, will start in the stretch position, comfortable in that spot. That's a good fastball. You see that life he has, 95, lower part of the strikes, and just a little bit out of the zone.
Springer comes in batting .250, 4 doubles, 7 home runs, 18 runs batted in. JC is always from the stretch, and this is bounced foul. 2 balls and a strike. Springer last night ended up going 1 for 4 with a walk and a double. Ramirez this year as a starter. 4 starts prior to tonight, 1 and 2, 3.97 ERA. Check swing foul on the breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Last start for JC at Texas. Picked up the W. 5 1/3. 4 hits, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks, and Springer goes down swinging for the first out.
That is a nasty slider going down and away. Monday key for this game today for the Angels to be successful, especially with the defensive side. Looking at show me the way, using that glove in that shortstop position. We talk about JC Ramirez's good fastball and his ability to get strikeouts. Well, most of the baseballs hit against him are going to be on the ground, and it's going to be up to Andrelton Simmons to show the way as far as making solid defensive plays.
Here's Josh Reddick. Reddick last night with a couple of hits, a home run and a single, 2 runs batted in. It's off to a good start. .293 batting average, .346 on base percentage, and has himself a 1 ball, 1 strike count. One.
See that late movement, 96. It all depends on where that arm angle is for JC Ramirez. He dropped his wrist there, and that's had more lateral movement instead of the sink move. He will still throw his 4-seam fastball very effectively also.
Back toward the middle. Simmons on the shortstop side has it. You gotta hurry because Reddick's not going to give that up. 2 down.
Right on cue as far as the defense play, especially when you're facing a guy like McCullers on the other side. As good as he has thrown the baseball this season, runs possibly at a premium, especially with Trout out of the lineup. So the defense, a little tough hop, but still a lot on that throw to be able to get Reddick for Andrelton Simmons.
So 2 outs, nobody on. And it's Carlos Correa at the plate. That's driven out to the alley in left center field. Revere's not going to get there. It'll go to the wall. Correa's on his way to second with a 2-out double.
That's generally the baseball he'll drive very well as a pitcher, lower part of the strike zone. The hit he had, and we showed that in our opening, going the other way, was a kind of a backup slider cutter. He stayed back on it, a shot to right, but this is his power swing, lower part of the strike zone. Went down and got that breaking ball and lines it in the left center field for his 8th double this season.
So a man in scoring position now. And Carlos Beltran at the plate. Astros last night 4 for 6 with men in scoring position. And raised their team batting average in those situations to an even .300. That's getting it done.
Again, that's another reason why they're playing so well this year. We always talk about Altuve and the great career numbers against the Angels, but Correa, real good career numbers. .333 coming into the game. That base hit brings it up a little bit higher. 40 for 118 for Correa in his career versus the Angels.
Broken bat, flare down the line. That'll bring home a run. Got it off the end of the bat. Beltran's on his way to second with an RBI double. And the Astros take a 1-0 lead here in the first.
Boy, Jose Mota was talking about for J.C. Ramirez in the pregame show about those first inning struggles as far as runs given up by J.C. Ramirez. Not a bad pitch, but just flared it right down the left field line. Another run given up in that first inning, and it seems like at that point after that, J.C. will settle down and become dominant. The first inning has been an issue for him. And with that hit right there all time as far as career doubles, tying the late great Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn. He's having a fantastic career, Carlos Beltran.
McCann hits one to second base. That's Pennington out of the shift. Shallow right, and the inning comes to an end, but back-to-back doubles with 2 outs give the Astros a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the first. Two-out double, so the Angels play from behind, down 1-0. Let's take a look at Mike Scioscia's lineup for the Angels. A little different look without Trout in the lineup the last second. Escobar will lead things off and play third. Cole Calhoun at right, Albert Pujols at DH, Luis Valbuena at first, Andrelton Simmons at shortstop, Cameron Maybins at center, Cliff Pennington at second base, Martin Maldonado behind the plate, and batting ninth and playing left is Ben Revere. They are taking on the 23-year-old right-hander native of Tampa, Florida, by the name of Lance McCullers Jr. is already making his 8th career start against the Angels.
And he's got real good career numbers against the Angels. My go-tos to be successful against him this time around is jump on that first pitch. Hitters hit 500 when they put that first pitch in play, 9 for 18, and throw him off his rhythm. He's a guy that likes to work very, very fast. Step out, throw him off his rhythm, and get him out of sorts so he'll make a mistake over the middle of the plate.
You mentioned those great career numbers against the Angels. It is pretty good. 3-1 with a 1.79 ERA. A lot of breaking balls as Escobar gets a fastball first pitch. There's 1 pitch, 1 out. Let's take a look at the Astros on the defensive side of things tonight. Aoki's in left, Springer's in center, Reddick in right. The infield with Bregman, Correa, Gonzalez, and Gurriel around from third to first, and McCann behind the plate.
And Correa, when you see that steady improvement on that defense in shortstop position, that fielding percentage going up from that first year at 23% higher. And we saw a couple plays already in this series, especially the range he has and the strong throwing arm. Even on the backhand, didn't do that jump throw the first, pivot and fired across with that strong arm.
They traded the 2 special shortstops in this series. Cole will look at a strike. Quasi night off for him last night until he pinch hit in the 9th inning and picked up an RBI single. Cole at 254 with 11 runs batted in. Tap it foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And when you look at percentage of curveballs thrown, McCullers at the top of the list, especially this season. He's got a very good curveball. Fastball still firm. Over on that fastball, 92, 97. Curveball, changeup. Going back to that percentage of curveballs thrown this season, he will throw a bunch of tops. Baseball 49% for McCullers. Drew Pomerantz at 44, Alex Cobb and Tyler Skaggs at 33, but 49%. Especially when you think about how hard he throws his fastball. Still a ton of breaking balls.
Command has gotten better. The walk rate down from last year. Break the ball. This is rolled toward first. Real feeds McCullers 2 down. Lance comes into this one with 46 strikeouts and 11 walks in 35 plus innings.
And it's a firm curveball. Talking about velocity on his curveball. It tops 2 as far as starters in the major league in that category. His average velocity on his curveball. With Albert coming to play now, just 5 away from that magical 600 career home run mark. 85.7 miles per hour, the velocity on his curveball for McCullers. But again, that first pitch, Albert, he gets a fastball, try to do some damage.
Albert at 246, hit his 4th home run last night. Now at 595 career home runs. Fouled back off the mask.
And last night, mentioned that 595 is worthy of a Carl's Cam replay. Looked at over the plate against Alice Keuchel. A 3-1 pitch, fastball away, drives that one extremely well to center field. A solo shot for Albert Pujols. 55 career home runs against the Astros. Next up in that list, as far as the home run list, Sammy Sosa at 609.
One, 2. Breaking ball misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 quick outs for McCullers. Astros giving them a 1-0 lead in the first. He's faced the Angels more times than any other team in his career. 8th strike. And the breaking ball looked like it may have gone around. Did not go. So full count. Mark Carlson, the first base umpire, making the call.
See if he went. That was pretty favorable. Looked like he crossed the plate.
Yeah.
I think you just saw our Carl's Cam replay of the 595 as far as home runs.
3-2, got a fastball right down Broadway, and the Angels are down in order. We'll head to the second with Houston on top. you have a group of 20 or more interested in experiencing Angels baseball, receive group ticket pricing for as low as $8 per seat. Just call 888-796-HALO or go to angels.com/groups. JC Ramirez allowed back-to-back doubles with 2 outs in the first. The Astros played their first run of the game. JC falls behind on Yuli Gurriel, but 1 ball, no strikes. The Astro first baseman, 309 batting average, couple of home runs, 8 RBIs. Gurriel last night 1 for 4 with a single.
An old school Biggio jersey there.
I like the rainbow jersey. Good look.
Yes.
Numbers on the pant leg. White Sox had that for a time. Then again, the White Sox
had a lot of different
workings. Collared tops, the shorts.
Shorts. That's always a good
No
idea
stirrups.
to slide in there and shorts in the second base to try to break up a double play.
Two. Foul back. Good life on the fastball from JC. Remember in that last start against Texas, first couple of innings, just didn't quite have the zip on the fastball, but then it turned around for him. Out toward right. 1 out.
And when you mentioned what JC Ramirez has done in his first 4 starts, strikeouts per 9 very solid, opponent's batting average very low, and pitches per inning. In the past we added a bullpen. You see the times get a little bit wild, but been very solid in those first 4 starts in his career at the major league level. A little over 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. Opponent's batting average 205. Very pitch efficient. 15 pitches per inning.
Marvin Gonzalez started at third base last night, gets to start at second tonight. There's a 1 ball, 1 strike count on him. 269 batting average. Utility infielder. Really a utility player because he'll play some outfield as well. 1 for 3 last night with a single. Breaking ball in there.
That's a good curveball. And even in spring training, Mike Scioscia was talking about JC's curveball has allowed him to get on top even more so with his slider. So he's got 2 very effective breaking balls. Slow curve as he uses as his off-speed pitch, and then the firm, sharp slider.
Down and in.
There's the birthday boy. Getting the night off. Jose Altuve.
Guys like to play on their birthdays, right?
Yeah, some of them had some pretty good numbers and career numbers on their birthday. Willie Mays. Say hey. 86 today. Jose Alvarez. Happy birthday also. 28.
Overthrown breaking ball hits Gonzalez. And he will take his base.
That hard slider going down and in. So it gets him right on top of the foot. Especially with the sharp slide I got, did not give in right away and right on the top of the foot. A lot of discomfort now behind home plate.
clearly in a lot of pain. Fortunately, it wasn't a fastball.
Looks like the birthday boy might not be getting the night off after all.
So Marwin Gonzalez is back. He's okay. He's headed to first.
Hard break ball. The stride. Back foot. Didn't move it. That late break gets it on the top of his foot.
Marwin Gonzalez over at first. Feeling out Luis Valbuena's foot. They're tight. Now if he steals here, we'll crush him every at bat.
Oh yes.
Fouled off. 0-1 count on Alex Bregman with the man at first. Bregman did not see action last night. Starting third baseman tonight. 265 average, 5 doubles, 7 runs batted in. A little bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bregman, 23-year-old. Had 49 games last year with Houston at 264. Their first round pick, 2nd overall selection in the 2015 draft at LSU. Two balls and a strike. Infield straight up with Bregman at the plate, looking for that double play ball. And this is shot past Pennington into right. Pretty good piece of hitting by Bregman. Gonzalez ends up at second.
He stayed back well on that pitch, lower part of the strike zone, and shot it by Pennington in the right field. Let that baseball travel and lines it by Pennington. Gonzalez had to wait, make sure that Pennington didn't catch that in the air. So you still have that double play in order, though. Would be a very difficult task, but Aoki at the plate, good speed.
So 2 on, 1 out. Nori Aoki at the plate. Left fielder comes in batting .279. Fastball in for a strike. This is the 2nd start for JC against Houston. 5 1/3 in his first go round, 6 hits, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, 3 runs in that one.
Good slow curveball at 78. And the best pitch against Aoki is really that slow breaking ball. He'll try to punch that fastball up and away to left field. Fastball in, he's got pretty good power to turn on it. He's just looking to make contact, especially going down the line as he's swinging. It's more difficult to do that on a curveball, especially a slow one. Weaver used to throw that pitch to him quite a bit. Went right back to a breaking ball, the curveball in the dirt. And Maldonado's able to keep it close enough where neither base runner could advance.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Top of the order, Springer on deck. 1-0 Houston. We're in the 2nd. Just got a piece of that one somehow.
Man, we always talk about difficult to get a strikeout against him. That's why you see Ben Revere playing pretty shallow out in left field to take away that little flare that way.
Ground ball toward second. Pennington, Simmons, Valbuena. 2-ball ends the inning for J.C. Ramirez. Way to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Houston. As we start at the bottom of the second, join your Angels on Friday the 12th. Take on the Tigers at 7:07. Fans in attendance will receive a cooler backpack, courtesy of your cold probiotic drink. For info, just go to angels.com/promotions. Lance McCullers with a 1-2-3 first inning. He'll face Valbuena, Simmons, and Maven. Mike Trout not in the lineup. Was originally, but the Angels took the field. Did not take the field. Yet to receive any update. Once we do, we will certainly pass it along to you.
Yeah, again, we saw him getting ready, saw him during batting practice, smile on his face, and then all of a sudden we anticipated him being in the lineup, and he scratched at the last moment.
2 balls, no strikes on Luis Valbuena. 1 for 7 as an Angel. 1 RBI.
And we were talking about it in between the innings. If indeed his name wasn't on the lineup card when they brought that out to the home plate umpires, then he would still be potentially available in the game at some point.
Now there was a delay with J.C. Ramirez coming out to take the mound, and we were trying to figure out what that delay could have been. Still wondering what that delay was all about. Maybe it had something to do with Trout. 3-0 pitch. There's a strike, 3-1.
Well, this is the time if you're Valbuena, you're just sitting on a fastball. Even though he'll throw a lot of curveballs, sit on a fastball and try to drive at the right center field.
That's hammered out to right field. Reddick not going to get there. Going to one-hop the fence. Valbuena is going to slam on the brakes as Reddick gets the baseball quickly with his arm. It's a long single for Luis.
Well, we said sit on a fastball, and he got one right down the heart of the plate, and he crushed that ball to right field. Short swing. Lines that right there, one hops the wall. But Reddick, very strong, accurate throwing arms, fields that very well off the wall.
Yeah, this isn't Minute Maid
I
Park.
was going to say, a little different ballpark, especially out the right field, right center field.
But a good bat flip nonetheless. So he's at first. Here's Simmons. Andrelton last night picked up an RBI single in that 4-run ninth inning.
Long look at Ron Renicky. And Valbuena looking at Alfredo Griffin if a potential hit and run is put on here.
There's the hit and run. Chopper towards short. Correa off balance throw. 1 down.
And if that took one more hop, that would have been a real difficult play for Correa to come in. But he charged it well, committed to come in to get that baseball before that extra hop. And because of that, he was able to get Simmons out at first base, but did advance Valbuena the second on the hit and run.
The man in scoring position with Cameron Maven at the plate. Angels last night 4 for 7. Such scenarios. Good bulk of that last night in the 9th. As a team at 224 with men in scoring position this year.
A lot of times you see his fastball, it's the upper part of the strike zone. He'll throw his fastball both away and in for McCullers. That's why his curveball is so effective. He starts at the upper part of the strike zone, then breaks it down below the zone. More likely to see a curveball here. Changeup. Pretty good movement on his changeup at 88.
Can't leave it up at a ball on the strike. Maybe got to start it right last night for Cole. On base 3 times with 2 singles and a walk. And that's a cross up that gets McCann's mask and hits the home plate umpire. Fielding Colbreth as well. Time is called as Valbuena will take third.
I think Adam Neva may come out and see him. Fielding got hit right the mask with that pitch. Looking to anticipate a break ball, hits off McCann and then right off of Fielding Colbreth. Mask and then mask.
McCann gets charged with a pass ball. It's a tie run out third. 2-1 count to Cameron Maven.
And middle infielders are going back, although Gonzalez looked into the dugout. He's moving back, so a ground ball, the middle infielder will bring home the tying run.
Frankie pitch back toward the middle. Correa to his left. Gloves it. Spins around. Throws to first. Got him. What a play by Carlos Correa as the Angels tie it up on the RBI ground down. 2 down.
I'll tell you what, we've talked about it a lot even last year and then this season already in this series here. Some great athletic ability. It's definitely worthy. I mean, it's a top tier play brought to you by Arco up the middle. And Correa with the great range, the spin around, and got a lot on that throw. It's a top tier play brought to you by Arco. Well, the job was done by Maven getting the run home. But a great play by Correa.
Pennington slicing it foul. Starting second baseman tonight with Espinosa on the bench. Pennington, 250 average with 3 runs batted in. No extra base hits this year. 1-2. Fouled off the foot. Halos tying it up here in the second. And Pennington goes down swinging as McCullers picks up his second strikeout of the night. We'll head to the third. Tied at 1. The order coming up for Houston to face J.C. Ramirez, who has 1 strikeout, no walks. 3 hits allowed, 1 hit batter. Springer struck out in the first, so he's 0 for 1. Yet to find that consistency with first pitch strikes tonight for JC.
Something he's really trusted his movement on his pitch, especially his fastball, to get ahead of the count.
Just 3 for 10 tonight, first pitch strikes.
The much more patient offense we've seen this season for the Astros. In the past, always amongst the highest strikeout totals as a team, partly because they're up there swinging at the first pitch and expanding the strike zone.
Falling behind here, 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk to start the third. A couple of those pitches nowhere near the strike zone.
Right fielder, number 22, Josh Reddick.
So Reddick will bow with the man on. Lob over there. Springer 0 for 2 so far in the stolen base category this year.
Maldonado's thrown out 38% of would-be base stealers this season. Good decision to go with his curveball there to get back into good mechanics. Slow down the delivery to make sure he got that curveball in the strike zone.
Ball gets away from Valbuena, but not far enough for Springer to advance.
Quick throw, try to catch that and go back and apply a tag, but off the glove and away, but not far enough for Springer to advance.
Reddick grounded out of the first to Simmons. We'll pull this one to second. Should be two if they can get it quickly. And they do. Second double play turned by the Angels. 2 down.
And we talk about the ability for J.C. Ramirez to get strikeouts, but he can get that ground ball. This play by Cliff Pennington. Good feed over to Andrelton Simmons to complete a 4-6-3 double play. The second one turned by those two today.
He'd only thrown one double play ball
in
7 games. He's got 2 tonight. This one yanked to third, and it's gloved by Escobar, and that is out. Snow cone, or did it go through the webbing? Yep. In the webbing,
he
and
still
it's
has
stuck.
it, though. We've seen the pitchers do that and flip it over the first base over the years. This is how you catch a baseball, with at least part of your glove for Escobar.
Angels baseball on Fox Sports West is being brought to you by Hyundai. The world didn't need another hybrid. It needed a better hybrid. Introducing the 2017 Ioniq from Hyundai. Better drives us. Tied at 1 as we start the bottom of the third. Maldonado, Revere, and Escobar coming up for the Halos against Lance McCullers. Team Maldonado batting in the number 8 spot, hitting .268. His first home run as an Angel last night to center field. Takes a fastball for a strike. Get a feel more, a little bit more fastballs tonight.
Back-to-back fastballs for McCullers to Maldonado to start this at bat. You think about throwing 49% of his pitches are curveballs. Surprising. 30 pitches thrown, 18 strikes for McCullers.
Maldonado rolls a foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Being told that Mike Trout is taken out of the lineup tonight with left hamstring tightness from the experience during warm-ups tonight. And for precautionary reasons, taken out of the lineup. Ground ball, this one to short. 1 down.
4 ground ball out for Corrigan, ready for Correa at shortstop tonight. Both corner infielders playing in against Revere.
Revere batting in the 9th spot, hitting 196. 2 doubles and an RBI. Takes a strike. Ben last night went 0 for 4. Starting left fielder. One ball, one strike.
You can understand as a pitcher why you would try to go up and in against Ben Revere. As you notice, as he prepares to swing the bat, he brings the bat down and then up. A lot of movement, but still super quick as far as hitting that ball and lining it the other way for Ben Revere.
Chopper toward third. Bregman backs up, fires across the diamond. Nice play for the young third baseman. 2 outs.
Boy, off the bat, I was just thinking you better not even make that throw over the first base. But playing in, and he has to go back on it, Bregman. We've seen him play some shortstop. A lot on that throw to get Revere at first base. Pretty good range and athleticism on that left side of the infield for the Astros. Bregman, nice play, and we've seen already 4 really good ones by Correa at short.
Down the order, Escobar saw 1 pitch in his first at bat. Grounded out to short, so he's 0 for 1. Back-to-back multi-hit games for Escobar. A 4-hit game 2 nights ago. 2 for 5 last night. And they're batting .268. Two balls, 1 strike.
A lot of times you'll see the callers throw a 2-1 curveball, especially for Escobar is a good fastball hitter. Definitely is going to his off-speed pitch most times in his fastball counts.
Three-1. Breaking ball that misses. 2-out walk puts a man on. First free pass issued by McCullers. And tonight's game is on AFN, the American Forces Network, now in its 75th year, broadcasting to American military personnel overseas in more than 170 countries and naval ships at sea. We welcome those watching tonight, and as always, we thank you for your continued service.
So Cole Calhoun, very good as far as good swings, a good contact on his first couple of pitches of an at bat. Very productive in those first 2 pitches. As the batting average has gone up, .325 in the last 10 games. McCullers has thrown a fastball first pitch, 9 of the 10 batters so far. See if he sits on a fastball, and if he gets it, do some damage. This time he drops a curveball on the outside corner.
Do you get a feel that he's thrown more fastballs tonight than breaking balls?
Exactly.
Yeah. That first start on April 20th, just 8% forcing fastballs. He was curveball 50%. The rest sinkers. Tonight he just, I don't know, it just seems like he's going more.
And it's been around 92, 93 range. You haven't seen any of those 97-mile-an-hour fastballs. He's thrown a few more changeups today also.
Yeah.
88, 89 range.
Percentage of those for him in the last 2 starts against Cleveland and Texas has gone up as well compared to
Last start against the Angels, there's a fastball 0-2.
When I look at his stuff and you project him as a potential top of the rotation guy, I think to get to that level, he's going to have to trust his fastball and change up more so, because a curveball thrown as hard as he throws his curveball, it's pretty taxing on the arm.
Quick throw to first. Escobar's back. Houston with a run in the first. Back-to-back doubles by Correa and Beltran. The Angels got a run in the second inning. Single by Valbuena. Moved to second on a ground down. Moved to third on a pass ball. And scored on an RBI ground out.
As that pitch ranged so far at 96 to an 82 on his curveball. So he has that curveball again. It's a firm one. You see that at 87. You talk about average velocity on his curveball. As far as starters in baseball, it's at the top of the list at 85.7 miles per hour with his curveball. So you know, with Syndergaard down there at 84.4 and Corey Kluber in the mix too with 83.4 miles per hour. That's a sharp breaking curveball with fantastic spin rate. But again, when you throw a curveball that hard, it's taxing on the arm.
Two balls, two strikes.
J.J. Hinch got to go through a series of signs. Even though there's nothing necessarily being put on, you just want to make sure you put some sign. In this case, at some point during the game, if you want to pitch out or a throw over, then you're not easy picked up. Because there's always somebody in the opponent's bench that's trying to read signs from the manager to be able to relay that to the catcher themselves.
This is hit towards second and gloved by Gonzalez. So the Angels are down here to third. Right to the fourth inning. It's still a 1-1 game.
Carlos Beltran at the plate. And now it's time for the driver's seat, brought to you by the new 2017 Kia Sorento. As far as active leaders and hits, Ichiro at the top. Adrian Beltre getting closer to that 3,000 mark. Albert Pujols and Carlos Beltran with 26-45 with his base hit tonight.
First pitch strike on the breaking ball. Beltran, McCann, and Gurriel for Houston here in the fourth. 45 pitches by JC, 25 strikes. Just a 7-pitch third inning. That's with a 4-pitch walk to start the inning. What a double play will do for you.
He was setting him up.
Yeah.
4 wide ones well out of the strike zone, then followed up with a double play ball.
Two-one count.
And J.C. Ramirez, we talked about that first inning, a little bit of struggles as far as his ERA in the first inning as a starter. 9 ERA, 5 earned runs in 5 innings. But the rest of the game, though, very solid. Settles in 2-1-9. Then you start to wonder, as he adjusts to being in the starting rotation, does he need to throw a few more pitches down in the bullpen, warm it up? Those little routines you try to alleviate those runs scored and put your team behind in the first inning. In 4 of the 5 starts, he's given up a run in the first inning.
Time called. There have been guys that have sat down in the bullpen to simulate a half-inning break and then get up and finish their warm-up pitches, right?
Yeah, you throw a few more off-speed pitches to make sure you're ready. Throw a few more out of the stretch.
Line to third. This time, use the pocket of the glove.
Yeah, use the whole glove this one.
Not just the webbing. One down. McCann grounded out in the first, so he's 0 for 1. He wanted the baseball checked. Don't see that too often.
A quick conversation by Martin Maldonado. And Anderson Simmons maybe noticed something on that delivery. At this point, 50 pitches for JC, 27 of them strikes. Curveball got a little bit too quick, slipped out of his hand.
2 balls, no strikes. Gurriel on deck. Shift down with Pennington out at shallow right. You feel he's trying to force the arm side a little bit too much?
It seems to be, because he's, with the movement he's having on his pitches, this throw it towards the middle of the plate and trust run action.
Oh, there it is again.
I mean, when you start that pitch on the outside corner, it's no way going to stay in the zone. So start at middle and run that baseball off to the outside corner.
2 walks that he's issued have both been on 4 pitches.
Well, he's had double play balls hit behind him back-to-back innings. Looking for another. Gurriel's been real hot of late. Last 19 games, batting average over 370.
Ground ball toward the hole. Simmons can't get there to find its place in the outfield grass. A seeing eye single. And the Astros have 2 men on with 1 out.
Second baseman, number 9, Marlon Gonzalez.
See with the defense set up in double play depth between short and second for Simmons and Pennington, and that ball in the hole at shortstop and just by Simmons for a single. For Gurriel, who continues to swing that hot bat.
Breaking ball to Gonzalez, misses up and away. Marvin was behind in the count. The second inning, and a big breaking ball got it top of the left foot. Eventually stranded at second base.
So you would think that foot is still a little bit sore. If you get a ground ball in an infield, you have a real good shot at a double play.
Out toward left. Playable for Revere. 2 down.
We talked about a couple line drives, Ed. You know, Escobar. And now it's time for Tools of the Trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks. Utilizing that entire glove and then some to make the play. Almost gets through the glove, but able to control it through webbing. Showing that he made the play. J.C. Ramirez liking it. So to the next inning, caught the conventional way, the pocket of the glove. Over 1,000 starts at shortstop in his career for Escobar. Played some second base, now over 300 games in the third base position.
Bregman fouls it off. He shot a single to right in the second inning. So he's 1 for 1. No balls, 2 strikes. Two on, 2 outs, 1-1 tie. We're in the 4th. Bregman last year 306 with 20 home runs. It stops at AA and AAA. We're getting the call to the big leagues. Overthrown breaking ball gets away from Martin. So runners advance. McCann to third and Gurriel to second.
Puts 2 runners in scoring position, but also takes away that force out, whether it's third base or it's second now. On that overthrown breaking ball, very difficult at times as a catcher to try to get in front with the spin of that baseball when it hits the dirt.
Just got a piece of it.
That's a product of a base runner being at third, and when the pitch before that you overthrew it and he bounced it. So it was a little bit too high on a 1-2 pitch if you're going to throw a slider. McCann still at second. You'll throw that downward action where you don't worry necessarily about hitting the dirt. Now you have to.
Ground ball to short. Well, and off the end of the bat. Blue shot it. The Astros will leave a couple of on. We get to the bottom of the 4th. Still tied at 1.
2019 Subaru Impreza. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 28 miles per gallon. More than a car, it's a Subaru.
We are tied at 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. Albert Pujols going to be leading off against Lance McCullers Jr. Look at how many first pitch fastballs will throw. Jesse Ramirez, Uncle Charles Nagy, and Martin Maldonado. 61 pitches for JC so far. 2 walks, 1 punch out. And some key ground balls in the game so far.
Pujols to lead things off here in the 4th against Lance McCullers. Albert struck out looking in the first. 1 of 2 strikeouts for Lance.
Starting off with the first pitch changeup. Got good movement on this changeup. You can see why he's starting to throw that pitch more.
Ground ball left side. Correa. He's been busy tonight.
Well, he gets a lot on those throws. The first base, Correa. Here's tonight's Cold Hard Facts, which are brought to you by Clean, Crisp, Coors Light. Back on this date in 1972, the Angels beat the Brewers 2-0. Game took 1 hour and 31 minutes. Messerschmidt threw a 2-hit shutout. It's the shortest 9-inning game in Angels history. That game is moving there.
You think? That's pace of play, my friend.
Yeah. And generally you might see those quicker games, maybe the last game or 2 of the season in September.
Not anymore.
No. Well, when there's 40 guys on a roster.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. I can't believe that didn't get addressed in the collective
I
bargaining
thought it
agreement.
was, but not so much.
Balbuena had a single with a run scored in the 2nd, so he's 1 for 1. Just 50 pitches so far by McCullers. Balbuena getting to start at first base tonight. C.J. Cron on the disabled list. Start a rehab assignment tomorrow. Should take him long.
Yeah, I saw him running the bases last few days, looking good.
Hit to right field, and Balbuena's picked up his 2nd hit, first multi-hit game as an Angel.
You know, Vic, there was a time in which, you know, at any level in baseball as a pitcher, when you throw a changeup, most times you don't come back with a slow curveball because you've already allowed the hitter to time the pitch. So a changeup followed by a curveball, very similar speeds, and he stayed back on this one well and lines that in the right field for a base hit. 2 for 2 for Balbuena. Got the good little bat flip even on the single. Lines in the right field, but again, going back to that, you want to change speeds. A lot of times after a changeup, you go with a fastball or the curveball after the fastball, but changeup, curveball, better to time it.
Back in the day, back in the good old days, before Technicolor.
Or a week ago, that's still considered back in the day.
True. Simmons.
But then remember that though, you never threw a curveball after a changeup just because you felt that you've already allowed the hitter to get the timing right to be able to stay back on a curveball after a changeup. Good save by the fan. Almost fell onto the field. And that ground ball down the line by Simmons. Then we did a game down there a few years ago.
Yeah. A lot of years ago. It was like 6 years ago now. It's crazy. Down the line and backhanded by Bregman. Off balance throw to second. Nice dig by Gonzalez. They get the force out at second. 2 down.
Boy, Bregman's made a couple really good plays already in this game. He's playing well off the base. Gets to that baseball, very similar to the hit that Simmons had last night in the 9th inning as far as that comeback to tie the game. And the slide into second by Valbuena against Gonzalez. Short hop throw, good scoop. That's all you're thinking as a second baseman there, just getting that out at second.
Two outs and a man at first for Maben. RBI ground down his first AB. 7th run batted in. Simmons on the move, hit and run. Springer got a good jump and he'll dive and make the catch. And the Astros continue to play stellar defense in this series, Gooby.
And it's very aggressive play. If that's by him, that's a run easily, and it's going to be a triple. But Springer, athletic play in center.
JC Ramirez, Lance McCullers allowing solo runs. JC's in the first, McCullers in the second. Kind of what we saw last night, Jace, between Jesse Chavez, Dallas Keuchel settling into a nice little pitcher's duel.
And some outstanding defensive plays made behind them. Both teams really in these first 2 games have made some really solid defensive plays.
9-1-2 for Houston here in their half of the 5th inning. Aoki, Springer, and Reddick. Aoki 0 for 1, grounded into a double play. 2 turned by the Angels tonight. It's the 7th time he's grounded into a double play this year. Chopper left side, that's by Escobar, and off the bare hand of Simmons. Hopefully that didn't do anything to it, because I'm not sure he's going to get Aoki.
Yeah, that's the only play he would have, is the catch of the bare hand and all-in-one motion. Seems to be okay off the hand. See where he's playing. He's playing up towards the middle. Had to go a long way to range for that baseball. The only chance he has is bare hand and throw all in one motion. You see him trying to get to that point. I don't think he gets him anyhow with Aoki going down the line. 2 or 3 steps as he's swinging the bat.
Good lead for Oakland. Springer swings the first one, chops one over Escobar. Gloved by Simmons, and the one hop throw is not in time. Well, there's a lot of baseballs bouncing to the left side of the infield. We saw it last half inning with Bregman. 2 innings ago with Bregman. It's like a super ball near the plate.
And that sometimes home field advantage, you'll have that area around home plate that's a little bit harder than other ballparks. Showing that good range again, but again, you're not going to throw at Springer going down the line.
Back-to-back singles to start this 5th, and here's Reddick. Reddick with a ground out in the 1st inning, a double play ball in the 3rd. Just the 2nd time this year he's grounded into a double play.
That's the unfortunate thing for J.C. Ramirez. He's made a couple really good pitches, getting ground ball outs, but 2 baseballs, there's no way you're going to be able to throw out guys that run well down the line in Aoki and Springer.
Pulled toward first. Valbuena's got it. Fires to Simmons for 1. And covering, and all of a sudden Simmons throws it away. Fortunately, Valbuena's able to pick it up. And Oakland stays at 3rd. J.C. Ramirez became a spectator on the mound.
Yeah, you want to get over there as quick as possible. If he does so, I think he gets a double play. Valbuena did a nice job of fielding that ball and a good firm throw to Simmons at 2nd. Well, you see J.C. Ramirez not even in the picture at this point, and then makes his way over. At that point, if you're Anderson, even though you're trying to lead the pitcher, you got to just hold on to that baseball. Well, we talked about that on the pregame show about once you release the baseball as a pitcher, you become a 5th infielder. So you got to be in position to cover that base to get yourself through a potential big inning against you. And J.C. Ramirez not covering the base. And a very hot hitter up now in Carlos Correa.
Hot hitter is 0 for 2 and has smoked the baseball twice. Double in the 1st with an RBI and lined out into the webbing of Yunel Escobar at 3rd base.
See that batting average last 12, 375. And I think if JC gets over there right away, I think that's a double play ball.
No doubt.
And all of a sudden you could be careful with Correa. With an open base, even though you still have an open base here, in that open base being 2nd, changes the whole dynamics with 1 out as compared to should be 2 outs.
One ball, 1 strike.
Pretty healthy hack there for Correa. Pitch pretty much right down the heart of the plate. Charles Nagy, Mike Scioscia looking on, hoping for a ground ball at an infielder. Correa runs well too, so it's not an easy task to turn a double play against him. It's got to be hit hard. And an infielder.
Ground ball towards Simmons, should be 2. That's a 3rd double play that J.C. Ramirez has induced tonight. He came into the game with 1 in his first 7. He'll take it. They're tied at 1.
That is fantastic.
No doubt. Trout not in the lineup with some tightness in his hamstring, but glad to see those signs here at the ballpark. Hey, folks, celebrate Mother's Day with your Angels on the Sunday, May 14th. Tigers are in town. It's a 12:35 start, 12:37. First 20,000 adults in attendance will receive a Mother's Day flower vase. For more info on that vase, presented by Fox Sports West, just go to angels.com/promotions. Nice job by J.C. Ramirez to not allow anything to happen after back-to-back singles to start the fifth. See if the Angels can get something going against McCullers. Bottom third of the order, Pennington, Maldonado, and Revere. Cliff struck out swinging in the second.
When you think about JC, though, a lot of his pitches, good quality pitches, are in the lower part of the strike zone. So you would think he would have more double plays turned behind him so far, but 3 tonight, very important for him to get those.
One down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. One out, nobody out for Martin Maldonado, and much of the same for Lance McCullers Jr. against the Angels. 7 starts prior to tonight. An ERA of 1.79 and a 3-1 record in his career. Brief big league career.
I was going to talk about that too. When you think about it, Dallas Keuchel with a lot of success as far as win-loss record, but ERA, what was it, over 3 career-wise? McCullers, and again, it continues tonight. 1.79 in his career coming into the game, and already 4 1/3 really good innings again tonight against the Angels for McCullers.
This one lifted out to right. Reddick in a couple of steps. 2 down.
Again, a few more off-speed pitches from the changeup point of view for McCullers tonight. There's 2 strikeouts coming into the game. 35 2/3 innings pitched, 46 strikeouts. So that's a big part of his game, the strikeout.
Ben Revere grounded out his first time up.
His changeup once again. Great late movement on his changeup. That looks outstanding.
That'll change things up for you.
I would think so.
I'm good.
Yeah.
1-2. Astros in the 6th inning have Beltran, McCann, and Gurriel.
I'm still thinking of that. That would be pretty good for us up here in the booth, don't you think?
Yeah. A little pregame meal.
Yep.
Silence in the booth about the 3rd or 4th inning. Thereabouts. Here fouls it off. Still a 1-2. Just the sounds of the game.
Yes, the sights and sounds.
That was back in the day too, the old sights and sounds of a series.
Yes.
One, 2. Revere goes down swinging, and the Halos are down in order. 5 complete. Good pitcher matchup tonight. 1-1 as we head to the 6th.
Angels baseball on Fox Sports West is being brought to you by Hyundai. There's no better time to buy a new Hyundai than now. See your local Hyundai dealer or visit buyhyundai.com.
Top of the 6th inning. Carlos Beltran to lead things off. It's J.C. Ramirez. We're tied at 1. Beltran 1 for 2 with an RBI double and a line out. So Yunel Escobar at third base.
.71 pitches for JC tonight, helped out by those 3 ground ball double plays turned behind him. Pretty amazing when you think about both pitchers coming into this game, especially JC as a starter. Both of them getting a lot of strikeouts normally, but today getting a lot of ground ball outs. Both of them. Quick outs.
Two balls, 1 strike. One strikeout, 2 walks, 6 hits allowed for JC.
And you see those 10 ground ball outs, this 4 fly outs, just 1 punch out.
Coming off a 9 strikeout game last time out.
He's been averaging what, 11.1 strikeouts per 9 innings as a starter. Been an outs and out.
Yeah. 2-2 bouncer into the shift. Pennington has to come in on it. 1 down.
Go back to the Hyundai key for the game today. Show me the way was the key, and without Trout in the lineup, a late scratch. J.C. Ramirez has done a nice job now. 11 ground ball outs so far into the 6th inning. It's a 1-1 tie against a very good pitcher in McCullers.
Do you see a different J.C. in this start against Houston prior than the one he had in his first time at Minute Maid Park, where he was dominant in that start with 9 strikeouts, nasty slider? He's trying to do something different.
I think what he did in that start, and I talked to him after that start, he felt he threw too many sliders. So I think you're seeing some more curveballs and some more fastballs in this game, as you see right there, first pitch fastball, to get some quicker outs. As you progress as a starter, to get decisions, you have to be in that 7th and 8th inning, in my opinion. And to get there, even though the strikeouts look good, you got to get some quick outs, some ground ball outs, to be able to be in a deeper part of the game, in which a lot of games have won and lost. Both these teams have the capabilities of coming back, so you're seeing a lot of runs scored in baseball later. So if you want to win games as a starter, you got to pitch deeper in the game.
This one flared out to left field to fall in. 1 out single for McCann. He's been on board twice now with a single and a walk. It's kind of tough to talk yourself out of, in this case, throwing less sliders when you see yourself having a performance like you had against a very good team in a pretty hitter-friendly ballpark.
Yeah, and I think, though, when you come in and you're pitching at home here in this yard, but I think the conversations with Charles Nagy and with JC is they need some length in games from starters, and JC's been pretty consistent as a starter. But to get in that 7th, 8th, and 8th inning each and every time, he's going to have to find a way to get those ground ball or quicker outs, and it's difficult to do that with that hard power slider thrown every single time. That's a nasty fastball there with that swing. See, that's what we talked about with Garrett Richards over the years. His stuff is so good, it's tough to get those quick outs. But JC has that fastball with movement that you can get ground ball outs. It's a lower part of the strike zone. There's Garrett Richards right there, with Tyler Skaggs and Houston Street. Still waiting to see when Garrett Richards will begin to start throwing again. Still no timetable. That's a nasty slider. Could have been called a strike. I think JC wanted that pitch. Mike Scioscia wanted that pitch. Slider outside corner. Could have been called a strike. You got to forget about that right away.
Gurriel shoots one out to center field. Heyman has to go back on it.
Got away with that one. But still got the out. You can't let that non-call of a strike affect the very next pitch. It looked like it did, and Gurriel dismissed that one. Especially in a game like this, a 1-1 game. That is some fantastic hair, by the way.
It's very Krusty the Clown, right?
Or I'm still going with the Heat Miser from The Year Without a Santa Claus. Is still potential.
That is some serious flow right there.
Yes.
You know, in Seattle, they got the guys with long hair.
Yeah.
This is long, but going the other way. Now imagine if you had your mullet back in the day, because it was pretty tight. But if you went, if you went north as opposed to south.
So you think I could pull it off? I don't know if I. Nah, I don't think I could.
That's awesome, man.
That is fantastic.
That's after taking off the helmet. Marwood picks up a single to center.
What's that Jack Nicholson movie? It's as good as it gets. Well, that's about as good as it gets right there for that hairstyle.
So 2 on, 2 outs.
Charles Nagy calling down to the bullpen now. Five and 2/3, 8 hits allowed, 2 walks, just 1 punch out. The double play ball has been very big for JC tonight. Get another ground ball and an infielder, hopefully just to get through this inning to finish it off. It's Mike Trout in the dugout with scratched hamstring tightness at the very start of the game. Ron Renicky talking with Trout.
That's a foul ball. I think that may have gotten the knob of the bat like we saw the other day with Cole.
Exactly. And I think he's pretty happy that that baseball hit the bat.
Nice try, Bregman.
Again, on the knob of the bat again.
Nice try there, Bregman, baby.
So when you look at the innings pitched so far in the starts for Ramirez, 5, 5 1/3, 7, 5 1/3, and here we are now at 5 2/3 as he tries to finish off the 6th inning here.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Good spot. Pretty good take on that hard slider. What we've seen so far in this game, though, the Astros hitters have adjusted to that slider, have not chased that pitch.
Blake Parker, first man up.
Well, you wonder if he tries to run a fastball back inside now. Tracking away. 3 of the 4 pitches in this at bat have been away against Bregman.
Got him swinging. Down goes Bregman. 2 on for the Astros. They're stranded as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Top of the order coming up in a 1-1 game.
Well-pitched game by both sides tonight. Let's take a look at the big story around Major League Baseball. The birthday boy, the Say Hey kid, Willie Mays, birthday today. 86th birthday, arguably one of the best players in the history of the game. A lot of people will say the best, most talented player to ever play the game of baseball. Willie Mays could do it all. The power, the speed, the defense. 660 career home runs, 5th all-time, 24 All-Star games, 2nd most to Hank Aaron with 25, 12 Gold Gloves. That's pretty good.
Pretty talented, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Best all time? I don't know. But he's pretty good.
Babe was amazing.
When you're on your way to a Hall of Fame pitching career, then you decide,
Let's try hitting.
I think I'm going to hit now. It's pretty good. Escobar bouncing one to short. 1 down. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
I'm going to avoid highlighting Carlos Correa on the defense tomorrow because he's made a ton of plays already.
So
in this
we're blaming you tonight.
Yes, you can. You see that improvement in that fielding percentage from his rookie year to this season. The range and the arm he has. There's a lot of talented shortstops in the game, but Carlos Correa, certainly at the top all-around player at that shortstop position. 23-point improvement as far as fielding percentage from his rookie year to this season so far.
6th ground ball that he's picked up tonight. Cole 0 for 2 with a ground out and a soft line out. Cole not thrilled with that last call. Cutler just at 70 pitches, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 2 hits allowed. Single by Valbuena, single by Valbuena. 2nd and 4th innings.
That's that hard, sharp curveball. You talk about attacking all 4 quadrants of the strike zone in this at bat. The callers against Cole Calhoun. And you see their upper part of the strike zone down and in, outside part of the plate.
Bouncer. Gurriel's got it. 2 down.
Finish off with a ground ball on his curveball. See the movement on these pitches throughout the at-bat for Cole against McCullers. He goes fastball away, fastball lower part of the strike zone, curveball, fastball up, and then curveball, hard curveball to get that ground ball out.
It's about as under control, and not that he's been wildly out of control, but he's a high energy guy, right?
Very
Mechanics,
emotional.
Everything.
Yep.
He's about as under control as I think I've ever seen him.
Yeah, he's usually a guy that even if you have a good swing against him, he's not real happy about that, but he's completely under control tonight. For him to get to that next level, he has to do so, and he has to utilize his changeup to go along with his very good fastball. Can't just throw that curveball all the time. In the game, we talked about how high a percentage he throws a curveball. 49% curveballs for a pitcher that can rush a fastball up there at 97.
First round pick in 2012 at a Jesuit high school in Tampa.
Throwing some changeups in this game to Albert Pujols also. That's a changeup running down and in. You would think if you're Albert, you're sitting fastball right now. Although he might get that curveball.
3 infielders on the left side. Albert's 0 for 2. Changeup again. 2 balls, 1 strike.
And some late movement on his changeup. Very good batting average at home for Albert, .333. And he challenged him upstairs with a fastball. So he had back-to-back changeups, high fastball. He's utilized that four-seam fastball upper part of the strike zone throughout the game, especially early in the game.
Break the ball out to center. Springer back a couple of steps, comes in. Halos are down in order. We'll head to the 7th inning, still tied at 1. Angels baseball on Fox Sports West is being brought to you by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid. Go the distance with 84 mpg and a 566 total driving range. By Mercury Insurance, we're on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by Buick.
J.C. Ramirez now out of the game. Pitched very good. 6 quality innings, 2 punch-outs, 2 walks, 90 pitches thrown. Now Blake Parker in the game for the Angels, trying to keep this Astro lineup off balance. Good fastball that Parker has. He'll rush it up there, 92-95. Very good split finger fastball and curveball. Had been throwing the ball very well. Struggled in that last game out up in Seattle. A couple flares fall in, a couple ground balls, but still 4 earned runs and 2/3 of an innings pitch. But other than that, Blake Parker has been very solid out of the bullpen for the Angels.
9-1-2. Aoki, Springer, and Reddick. 8 hits tonight allowed by J.C. Ramirez. 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a hit batter. 6 innings. First one in for a strike. Aoki, a double play ball in the second, a single in the 5th, but was stranded at third base.
There's a split. 22 strikeouts and 13 innings pitched this season for Parker. Starts off with that grip, with the baseball in the split finger grip, and then brings the ball in the glove and will close the fingers if he's going to throw his fastball or curveball.
One and 2. Aoki not happy. That pitch was off the plate. Breaking ball misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. George Springer on deck.
His normal Aoki just trying to put the ball in play, even though the pitch was well below the strike zone.
Ground ball to short. One down. MLB.com at bat, #1 mobile app for live Angel baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Angels home screen icons, app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, netcast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today.
JC Ramirez throwing the ball well, 6 innings. Again, you're looking at least 3 innings out of the bullpen here tonight, and it continues to add up as far as innings pitched for the Angels bullpen. You can see the numbers so far for the bullpen this early in the year, with just a couple off days the entire season. 109 leading the American League in that category. Blue Jays behind them, and Mariners in third. So a lot of relief arms being used for Mike Scioscia early in the season, and not a lot of off days. There's 2 this first part of the season.
14 decisions for the Angels bullpen, 8-6 with a 4.62 ERA. Springer tonight, 1 for 2 with a walk. Two one, 3-1. Reddick on deck.
Parker overthrew that fastball, front shoulder opened up.
Out to center field. Towering fly ball, playable for Cameron Maybin.
Springer a little upset about that when he had a pretty good pitch to drive, especially in a good count to do damage. Was upset running down the line, flipped the bat away. It's a great look again.
I'm digging the specs too.
Yes.
Reddick takes a strike. Reddick tonight 0 for 3.
Very good numbers against the Angels this season. 421 with 4 RBI and a couple big flies. Good splitter. I know he, just like you, Victor, he's a big fan of the WWE wrestling.
Astro fans have taken to doing the old Ric Flair.
Yes.
Woo! That hurt, man. Reddick goes down swinging.
And you can do it again.
No, I'm done. You give me one on the way to break. Come on.
Woo!
There it is. 7th inning stretch time. Then Luis Valbuena's line. He's 2 for 2. A couple of singles. He scored the run in the 2nd inning on the RBI ground out by Maben. McCullers just at 78 pitches through 6 innings, 3 punch outs, 1 walk. That run, by the way, unearned because of the pass ball charged to Brian McCann.
It's a pretty tough pass ball when you think about it. Crossed up on that pitch, looking breakable, got a fastball instead.
Valbuena, Simmons, and Maben for the Angels here in their half of the 7th. Just a little bit foul. One of the lucky 41,000 tonight will get that souvenir.
You got to feel pretty comfortable thinking there's no baseball going to be hit down in that part. But Valbuena, being a nice guy, it's a foul ball down there.
Go. 2-1. In tight. 3 balls and a strike. Breaking ball, and it's upstairs. Well, it looked like caught the top part of the zone, but it's a walk to lead off the 7th. Second free pass issued by McCullers.
That's a quick walk off the back of the mound by McCullers. We talked about him and the high energy guy. He does not get this call. It looks like it definitely drops in the strike zone. See if Simmons can take advantage of McCullers right now. See if he'll groove a pitch, do some damage. These two worked the hit and run earlier back in the 4th inning.
Simmons swinging for the downs.
Got a pretty good pitch to do some damage. It ran on the inner half. That's the pitch where Simmons can get an extra base hit out of that swing.
Hamilton's 0 for 2. Chopper foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
It's been an effective ground ball in the game. That one going right over the third baseman's head. I've seen that quite a bit.
Called strike 3. Simmons gets rung up. 1 down.
This one a little bit off the outside corners compared to the curveball that he threw to Valbuena. Was called out of the zone. See that just off the outside corner, but Simmons is rung up.
Here's Cameron Maybin, 0 for 2.
Wonder if there'll be some movement here now with Maybin at the plate. And a conversation with Alfredo Griffin and Valbuena.
Chopper to short. Correa to Gonzalez. Back to first. Inning-ending double play. 7 complete here at the Big A. And we're still tied at 1.
Is in for the Halos. We've got ourselves a tie ball game between the Angels and the Astros, knotted up 1 apiece. Patrick O'Neill, hope you stick around after the game for Angels Live, brought to you by your SoCal Mazda dealers. Jose Mota will join me. Alex Curry will get the interviews and talk to Mike Scioscia. Of course, the big story today is that Mike Trout had to be a late scratch with the tight hamstring. Will he be available tomorrow? Perhaps Scioscia will fill us in. But the big story, Victor and Mark, and you know, I'm a reporter. I like to find what's happening. It's cold. And we got blankets and sweatshirts selling out throughout all the team stores here at the Big A, as I'm sure you can see in the crowd. Maybe small ball wins this one here tonight.
Cold. It's 63 degrees.
It's cold out here, bro.
Man up out there, reporter guy. Let's go. Eighth inning. David Hernandez takes over. This will be his 7th game with the Angels. Cold. Come on. Astros have Correa, Beltran, and McCann.
Reporter guy.
2 up here. He's the guy that said he's a reporter.
Reporter guy,
okay.
yes. He is Patrick O'Neill.
There is only one Patty.
Yes.
Correa 1 for 3 with an RBI double. The run scored at the first. Second consecutive night that Hernandez has pitched. Two balls and no strikes. This is popped up. We'll take that on a 2-0 count. Andrelton Simmons.
Well, he was guessing fastball, and he got it, but late movement ran it in on him and jammed him, popped him up.
One out.
Wow, that's a good curveball.
Beltran 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Double for Beltran in the first inning, his 7th of the year, 3rd of this series. It's a strike. Kind of a last-minute decision by Field and Colbert.
But definitely in the strike zone.
Yeah. Good off-speed pitch. One, two. Good pitch down and in. Down goes Beltran. 2 outs.
Not only a good location, took something off that breaking ball. 82-mile-an-hour curveball for David Hernandez. Located perfectly after a couple fastballs in the sequence. Out in front, no contact made by Beltran. It's over top of it. I think it was the speed of the pitch even more so than location.
Brian McCann been on board twice tonight with a walk and a single. 1 for 2. Caught the inside corner. Halos in the bottom of the 8th. Now Pennington, Maldonado, and Revere due up. There's action in the Astros pen, which I'd be surprised, right? Just 2 hits allowed by McCullers.
The way he's thrown the baseball today.
Will Harris is getting ready. Two one count. Line to left. Pitch that was up. That's a ton of 2-out hits for the Astros in the first 2 games of the series.
He stayed back well, and that fastball was outer part of the plate, but elevated. To shorten up his swing, lines it into left field. That's the approach he was taking on something away. You know that power he has on the inner part of the plate. Saw that last night. We got a little drizzle here now.
Yeah. All of a sudden. Just kind of a mist drizzle. You know, nothing serious. That'll send everybody scrambling.
It's a Misty Mountain Hop right now by
it.
Led Zeppelin.
I'm sure in Patrick O'Neill's mind, he thinks it's sleeting outside. 0-2 count.
Hey, it's almost halfway to Christmas, man. 0-2 pitch. Gurriel goes down swinging, and David Hernandez picks up a couple of strikeouts as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Bottom third coming up. We're tied at 1. And the New York Yankees take on Joey Votto, the Cincinnati Reds, Tuesday 4 p.m. on FS1. New pitcher on for the Houston Astros here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Right-hander Will Harris takes over on the mound. Harris pitching in his 12th game, 1-0 record, a 1.59 ERA with 1 save, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk in 11 and a third innings. Taking over for Lance McCullers Jr. ended up going 7 innings tonight with 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. 1 run, it was unearned.
Yeah, his fastball is going to be not necessarily overpowering, but good movement, 89-93 range, curveball, changeup, very good changeup for Harris.
Pennington 0 for 2, a strikeout, a fly ball to left, starting second baseman tonight. Foul back off the mask. Caught the corner, and it's 1-2 now. A chopper toward third base, and that goes foul. Time call with a beach ball down on the warning track and right.
Boy, if you can hit something into the outfield grass right now, you might want to think in terms of trying to get an extra base, because that baseball will be wet when it rolls out to an outfielder at some point. I see some base runners trying to be a little bit more aggressive, I think, especially this 1-1 game here.
Two down. Harris, an all-star last year for Houston. Full count. 66 games and a 2.25 ERA. This now his third season with the Astros. Twice a waiver pickup in his career. 3-2. Ground ball towards second base. Marwin Gonzalez has it to the backhand.
Pretty close play at first.
One down.
Gonzalez on the backhand gathered himself in the quick throw, but a close play beats it by half a step.
Martin Maldonado tonight 0 for 2 with a ground out and fly ball to right. Light rain falling here at the Big A. And Martin skies one out toward right center field. Got some carry to it. Springer moving back near the wall. Can't make the play. Off the fence, and Maldonado strolls into second with a double. Fourth double of the season, and the go-ahead run is in scoring position.
I wonder if a potential pinch runner now for Maldonado. Got a fastball, middle part of plate, but down, and drives that ball to right center field. And Springer getting back to the wall and unable to make the play, but baseball stayed close by, and indeed will be a pinch runner here for Maldonado. He picks up another extra base hit.
Well, miscommunication. I thought perhaps it maybe was an easier play for Reddick, who gave way to Springer, who was calling for it.
Because he had to go a long way. He was playing shallow.
Yeah. Danny Espinosa is the pinch runner at second base. Ben Revere up at the plate, ninth place hitter. Ben's 0 for 2 with a ground ball out and a strikeout. Revere's never faced Will Harris. Mentioned twice a waiver claim. He was originally with the Rockies. Oakland selected him off waivers back in 2013 and then put him right back on waivers. Diamondbacks claimed him. And then in November 2014 on waivers again when the Astros claimed him. He's had a nice 2-year run plus now for Houston. Revere hits one towards short. Correa to the backhand. 2 down. As Espinosa ends up at third. So it'll be up to Yunel Escobar, who aside from drawing the walk in the third inning has seen 2 other pitches in his other 2 at-bats, both resulting in a ground out to Correa short.
Hasn't been as consistent with runners in scoring position this season, but very, very good last year. You know, Escobar.
1 for 1 in his career against Will Harris.
It's 263 this season for Escobar with runners in scoring position. Look at first pitch fastball, got it, but it was a high fastball. Fouled the straight back. Last season, though, 362, fifth best in the majors.
Espinosa standing at third base. 2 outs here in the 8th. Breaking ball, a good one. 1-2.
He had one wild pitch this season for Harris. You think of first pitch fastball, Escobar was on it. Missed that breaking ball by a lot. Might see a breaking ball now here.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Got another one. Down goes Escobar, and the Angels leave the go-ahead run at third base. We will head to the 9th inning. Still tied at 1. You can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports West and Angels baseball with you wherever you go. Presented by FiOS by Frontier. It's the top of the 9th here at the Big A. We are tied at 1. The rain seems to have slowed down considerably as Bud Norris takes over on the mound. Pitched last night. Gave up a run on 2 hits through 17 pitches. He's going to face the bottom third of the order. Gonzalez, Bregman, and Aoki are due up. Altuve's on the bench. Did not start today on his birthday. So he has A.J. Hinch anyway has a pretty good weapon on the bench still. Bud taking over for David Hernandez with 1 inning. Gave up a hit and struck out 2. Marwin Gonzalez tonight 1 for 2. Hit by a pitch in the 2nd. Fly ball to left in the 4th, singled and was stranded in the 6th. One-0 count. Norris, the 4th pitcher tonight, 3rd reliever. J.C. Ramirez got the start, went 6 innings, giving up a run on 8 hits. Parker to Hernandez to now Norris. What?
Backdoor cut fastball, catches the outer part of the plate.
Came right after him. It's 1-2. Got him swinging. Did he hang on to it? Yeah. Just got a piece of it, fouled it, and Gratterall couldn't hang on to it. The count remains 1-2.
He ran that fastball off the plate in.
So Gonzalez trying to get some tackiness on his batting gloves. A little moisture on the bat. One, two out to left. Revere's there. One down. Brings up Alex Bregman.
Third baseman, number 2, Alex Bregman.
Bregman tonight 1 for 3 with a base hit back in the second. Good breaking ball.
Pretty good target set by Gratterall to make sure that breaking ball was down and away.
One from Norris. Downstairs. Two one. That's it there. Been a couple of pitches up there.
That cut fastball when it's upstairs like that is a dangerous pitch because it goes right to the barrel of the bat if you're anticipating looking for that pitch. Or similar to the pitch that Correa hit against him yesterday for that hit with Altuve in scoring position to end up being the winning run for the Astros last night.
One run, 9 hits, 8 left on for Houston. 1 run, 3 hits, 3 men left on for the Angels. Astros 1 for 8 with men in scoring position. The Angels 0 for 3. 2-2. Got him swinging, gets away from Gratterall. And Bregman's going to reach on the strikeout wild pitch.
And that's pretty good speed now at first base.
Altuve is going to pinch run for Bregman at first.
Pitch running at first, number 27, Jose
Altuve with 9 stolen bases, 10 attempts. And that big steal last night in the 10th inning went first pitch. Might see some throwovers to first base. Step offs for Bud Norris.
Ball gets away, but not far enough. That was pretty close, too, by the way.
Real close. He was able to come up with that baseball where it was thrown and a tag on the body. He might have gotten him. Certainly a chance to take a look at it before his hand got on the base. Been sitting around all game and then asked to pinch run here for Altuve.
Oakland tonight 1 for 3. They didn't do a double play in the second.
A little bit of a quick pitch there for Bud Norris. Very close to not coming to a complete stop. Oakland with good numbers, 3 for 9 against Bud Norris.
Good lead for Altuve at first. He's on the move. Pitch, a strike to third on a second. A good one, and they got it. Yes, they did. Wasn't the best of jumps for Altuve. 2 down.
Perfect throw from Gratterall. Quick on that transfer, the release, and a perfect throw to be able to have Simmons apply the tag, and Altuve out at second. Not easy getting off the bench like he had been the whole game and then try to steal a base. Great angle right there from our guys to be able to see that tag on the leg before the foot hits the bag.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, going back to that stolen base last night by Altuve, I was talking to Steve Solis today because he was in watching the game. He said that he didn't think Altuve got a great jump, although it did look from our angle that he did get a pretty good jump, but it was a little bit of the high throw to allow him to get the foot in. This time a perfect throw right on the leg before the foot got to the base. It's a good job by Bud Norris holding the baseball long enough to give Gratterall a shot at it.
2 balls and 2 strikes. It looked like he put a sweatshirt on as if he's not going to stay in the game.
Especially with Bregman's got pretty good speed himself.
Yeah. Two. Full count. Top of the order, George Springer on deck. The Angels in the bottom of the 9th. We'll have Calhoun, Pujols, Valbuena coming up. Houston has had action in their bullpen. Chris Davinsky, who pitched last night, is getting ready. Foul out of play. Another payoff coming. Tied him up. There's a 3-2. Yeah, fouled off.
So difficult to get him to swing and miss. Generally, the old saying is against Aoki is just pitch him away, play him away. That's what they're trying to do with Ben Revere playing shallow and left. Aoki's got pretty good power on the inside part of the plate. Just take away that little flare to left field.
Ground ball to second. One at the bottom of the ninth inning. Calhoun, Pujols, Valbuena coming up for the Angels in a 1-1 game. At 1, Cole Calhoun set to lead things off for the Angels. Jose Altuve does indeed stay in the game, and he's at second base. That moves Marwin Gonzalez from second to third as Chris Davinsky takes over on the mound. This will be his 10th game, second consecutive outing for him on the season. 2-1, 1.86 ERA. Notched his second save last night. 34 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 19 in a third.
He certainly has been very good, giving the Astros at times multiple innings also.
Calhoun 2 for 4 in his career against Davinsky. Pujols 0 for 4. Valbuena's never faced him. Cole tonight 0 for 3. Full shift on 3 infielders on the right side. We haven't seen that a whole lot either against Cole this year. It used to be somewhat the norm.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty good swings going the other way for Cole. There's a lot of room out in left center field right now, along with the left side of the infield. But he was looking for that first pitch fastball. He got it, but it was out of the strike zone.
Was that off-speed pitch?
What a great changeup he has.
Downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. Changeup is bread and butter. Teammates in the minor leagues used to call it the circle of death. The old circle changeup.
Sounds like he should have been a wrestler there.
Yeah. Josh Redeker, Bruce.
Yes.
2-1 offer. Outside, 3-1.
Valbuena going to be up third in this inning.
Cole takes downstairs, and the potential winning run is on board to lead off the ninth.
Pretty close pitch, borderline pitch.
Just the 3rd walk this year. in 19+ innings for Davinsky.
When you look at percentage of pitches thrown this year for Davinsky, mentioned that changeup a little over 41% of the time he will throw his changeup.
Albert 0 for 4, as I mentioned, in his career. 3 fly ball outs and a ground down against Davinsky. Off speed is in there for a strike. Borderline pitch. Albert didn't like the call, clearly. Big hole on the right side without Tuve shading Albert toward the middle. Another one. No balls, 2 strikes.
It's an opportunity, especially behind the count. If you're Albert, to punch one to the right side of the infield. A lot of room there.
Light little drizzle still falling here. The 1-2. Fastball away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I believe he's just throwing that fastball away to set up to throw the changeup now. But again, if you're a hitter with a changeup, even though it's a plus changeup, it still gives you that chance to be able to punch that ball through the infield on the right side if it's away.
Short lead for Calhoun. Breaking pitch, line to left, a base hit. Long run over for Noriaoki. Calhoun keeps on chugging. He'll dive in safely at third base. The winning run, 90 feet away, and the Angels have runners at the corners to start the ninth.
And he got that off-speed pitch. It drifted towards the middle of the plate. It was down, and Albert, good adjustment at the plate, and Albert picks up that big hit. Went down and got it. Still, even though the hips opened up, he kept the bat back long enough to line that into left field for a base hit. And Cole Calhoun, aggressive base running. Aoki's got a good throwing arm. Coming in the game, 4 outfield assists. But you got to take those shots, and Cole did, and gets into third base here. First and third, no outs. Now you wonder if the strategy is going to be the walk Valbuena, load the bases to have that force out at home.
Yep.
Going to pitch to him. With the infield in. Outfield playing shallow.
On board 3 times tonight. 2 singles and a walk. Here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss on the off speed.
Well, you knew he wasn't going to go after him with a fastball. Can't imagine him throwing him a strike.
Lead-off walk by Cole. Went to third on the single by Albert.
It'll be Leary the back pick at third, too.
Downstairs. McCann to the backhand.
Usually when you see a catcher do that, he was going to quickly scoop that and fire to third, so it's going to try to keep Calhoun close to third base.
Kind of dangerous with the winning run at third to try to do that backhand thing. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Another off-speed pitch, 1-2. Mentioned Valbuena's never faced Davinsky. And Valbuena goes down swinging on a fastball. Makes no contact, and there's out number 1.
After a number of changeups, went a fastball away. Pretty good sequence set up by McCann there with Davinsky. Changeup, 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 then fastball away. Long look down. Simba at the plate. Simba, multiple Simbas in the stands.
Infield in, too.
Anticipated potentially a safety squeeze. Albert going.
Chopper left side should do it. Light that baby up and drive home safely. 2-1 winners tonight.
And Simba coming through. Just putting the ball in play. Andrelton Simmons with the walk-off infield hit. And it's our Land Rover above and beyond player of the game, walk-off RBI for Andrelton Simmons, putting it in play. Albert on the move. And a come from behind victory for the Angels tonight. Albert on the move. Simmons puts the ball in play. An infield single, walk-off variety. Great base running there by Cole Calhoun, not only to score, but to get the third base on that base hit by Albert Pujols. Big victory here for the Angels, bounce back after that tough loss last night.
Yeah, pick up a game in the standings against the first place Houston Astros, and overall nice job against a very good pitcher in Chris Davinsky, who's been lights out all season long. Very rare walk for him to start the inning, kind of set the table. Nice plate appearance by Cole Calhoun to get on board, who eventually scored the winning run.
And his base running was outstanding too, to be able to get the third base. Aoki with 4 outfield assists, but aggressive running by Cole. Got the third on that good swing by Albert, and then Andrelton Simmons walks it off.
Simmons, the hero, with the walk-off hit, and the RBI is down with Alex Curry. Alex.
Andrelton, after how close you guys came last night, it's got to feel good to get it done tonight, but talk about this team's never quit attitude.
Yeah, you said it. We always fight back. No matter how many runs we're down, we find a way to fight back, and fortunately today we came up with the hits and the run to win the game.
Now both the teams tonight had rock solid defense, so for you guys, was it just about playing the small ball?
What was that, sorry?
I said both teams had rock solid defense, so for you guys, was it just about playing the small ball?
Yes, just get a couple runs. That's all we needed.
Try to track him down. Oh, one more. Andrelton, congratulations on the win, and enjoy this shower you got tonight.
Yeah.
Well, the Angels even out the series here tonight. Stick around because we got Angels Live coming up next right here on Fox Sports West.